8 strangers, 1 room, no names, no rules, just one question, and 1 chance to survive. This exam. Hey everyone, welcome back to DeepdiveX Recap, where every story comes with a twist. Today, we're diving deep into a British psychological thriller, a film that locks you in a room and won't let you breathe until the final second. This is the story of Exam 2009, and trust me, it's not what it seems. It all begins with 8 candidates, preparing for what they believe is the final stage of a high-paying corporate job. Some pep themselves up with a little self-talk. Others fix their hair, straighten their clothes, trying to appear sharp, confident, ready. But nothing can prepare them for what's waiting inside that exam hall. The room is dimly lit. 8 desks, perfectly aligned. Surveillance cameras watching every move. A sense of tension already hangs in the air, and it only gets heavier. Once they're all seated, a security guard with a gun walks in. Instantly, everyone tenses up. Behind him enters a man. Calm, controlled, he introduces himself only as the Invigilator. No name, no warmth, just authority. He apologizes, kind of. Says he knows how hard they've worked to get here, that they've passed every test up to this point, and now they're finalists. But there's just one final exam before the job of their dreams becomes reality. And that's when things get strange. The Invigilator lays down the rules, but these aren't your usual exam instructions. No federal laws apply in this room, he says, only the rules of the exam. You can't talk to the guard, you can't speak to the Invigilator, you can't ruin your paper, even by accident, and you absolutely cannot step outside that door. Break any rule, and you're out. No warnings, no second chances. And then he drops the bomb. You have 80 minutes, 1 question. Answer it, and the job is yours. He glances around, asks if anyone has questions. No one dares speak. The timer begins. The Invigilator walks out, the door locks. The candidates flip their papers over, and their eyes go wide. It's blank. Completely. Totally. Blank. What's going on? They exchange confused glances, trying to make sense of it. Minutes tick by. Silence builds. Anxiety creeps in. And then, candidate no. 2 breaks. She writes something down, why she thinks she's qualified. The camera above zooms in. Seconds later, the guard steps forward. She's disqualified. She pleads, begs for another chance, but it's too late. The door slams shut behind her. The group's shaken. Now they know this is not a normal test. Candidate number 5 starts to think out loud. We can't talk to the guard. We can't talk to the Invigilator, but we can talk to each other. The rest slowly nod. They might have to work together to solve this puzzle. But what is the question? As tension builds, candidate number 5 gives everyone nicknames so they don't have to reveal real identities. The silent man becomes Deaf. The others, brown, black, white, based on... And the women, blonde, brunette, and dark. No rule says we have to sit. He stands up, slowly. The guard doesn't react. They realize they're free to move around. That's 1 win. But the question? Still missing. Brunette has a theory. What if the question's written in invisible ink? She uses the light to check her paper. Nothing. Still, she insists others try too. What if the question is on just one of their sheets? They all try, except Deaf. He sits, silent, still, watching. White holds his paper against the light. Nothing. Black suggests maybe it's visible only in UV light or X-ray. The group starts searching. Switchboards, bulbs, corners of the room, still nothing. Then, Blonde finds emergency light strips built into the walls, but there are no switches. Under different lighting? So if they want to see, I'll have to break all the bulbs. Desperation builds. Time is ticking. Tensions are rising. And not everyone is who they claim to be. Lights on. The question's still missing. And trust? It just shattered into a million pieces. This is where the mind games begin. After failing to find the question on the papers, someone suggests a risky idea. Trigger the emergency lights. How? By breaking every other bulb in the room. Brown pushes back hard. It's too dangerous. But the rest vote. And the majority, they choose chaos. One by one, the light bulbs are shattered. Glass rains down like sparks of rebellion. Then suddenly, the room bathes in eerie blue. Emergency blacklight kicks in. Everyone rushes to scan their papers again, hoping, praying. Maybe the question is finally visible. But no. Still blank. Still silent. Still nothing. Then Brunette gets an idea. What if we peel back the light strips? Maybe they're hiding UV ray. Using someone's high heels, she smashes open the paneling. revealing another kind of light source. Everyone stares, waiting for something to show, but again, disappointment. The lights don't work either, and the clock now says 60 minutes left. Frustration sets in. White demands new ideas, anything, to make sense of this madness. Then it hits him. Candidate number 2's paper. She's already out of the game, which means her sheet is fair game. The group huddles around her desk, trying to trace over the paper. Maybe there's pressure marks? Nope, still blank. Desperate, White tears it into strips and takes it further. He urinates on a piece, hoping the liquid reveals something hidden. It doesn't. Not even close. Then tensions explode. Black and White go at it, full-blown argument. But everything stops when they hear something unexpected. Sobbing. Def, the silent one, is quietly crying at his desk. Everyone stares, and then he starts mumbling in French, almost like a madman. He points at his paper and whispers, "It reflects us." But no one listens. They chalk it up as nonsense and go back to arguing. Suddenly, Brown drops a chilling theory. What if this isn't a test? What if it's a show? Cloaks around. Think about it. What if the company isn't hiring, they're watching, betting on which of us breaks first just for fun? It's a twisted idea, something straight out of Squid Game. Brunette rolls her eyes. Come on, the board has better things to do, but Brown leans in closer. You think people with that much money care about jobs? They live for the thrill. That one lands. Everyone starts throwing out their own theories. Maybe it's the invigilator behind it. Maybe it's the CEO pulling strings. Either way, cracks begin to show, and the group starts turning on each other. Then Dark speaks up, calmly, confidently. There's no audience, no hidden game. The CEO is hands-on. He runs the entire company. He has full control. Everyone freezes. How does she know that? Turns out, Dark already works for the company. She's in HR, and she's here for a promotion. She's never met the CEO, never seen him. But she knows the company's power. White reveals he was headhunted for the role. The others, they all applied blindly. One thing they all share, nothing about the company itself. They were told not to ask questions. Then Dark finally spills the truth. The company is called B-Rogue, a multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical empire. When a pandemic spread across young people years ago, they were the first to cure it. Their annual revenue? $20 billion. All thanks to one man, the mysterious CEO. Suddenly, Black throws in another theory. What if they found a cure for something else? Some new deadly virus? Something that's killing people right now? Everyone looks to Dark for answers. Brunette leans in, too quickly. White notices. He eyes her, suspicious. Infected, Close brushes it off. Of course not. But her reaction says otherwise. Then she walks over to the guard, quiet, calm. Without saying a word, she reaches into his jacket and pulls out a lighter. Her eyes drift up to the sprinkler system. Another plan. If invisible ink doesn't react to light, maybe it reacts to water. She climbs onto a chair just out of reach. White helps her, handing her a rolled piece of paper. She lights it, holds it up, the fire alarm goes off. Suddenly, water begins raining down on the room. Everyone holds their papers out, but again, nothing. Still no question. Still no answer. Then the guard starts walking toward them, eyes locked on Brunette. Just as she's unfolding her paper, she reveals it's hers. White betrayed her, tipped off the guard, just to thin the competition. The betrayal stings. As she's dragged out of the room, she screams, "You bastard!" Black snaps, open quote, "I'm gonna punch your lights out," close quote. And just like that, the lights cut out. Everyone freezes. And in the darkness, a chilling realization hits them. The room responds to their words. They look at each other and finally understand, careful what you say, this room is always listening. One rule, 1 minute left, and everything is about to fall apart. Def starts crying again, but this time, White walks up to him, calm, sinister. He crouches in front of him, and in a twisted whisper, he bullies the poor man into doing something unthinkable, tearing up his own paper and eating it. The guard watches. He steps in, silent as ever, and removes Def from the room. Just like that, another one's gone. Now only 5 remain. Black can't believe what just happened. He lashes out at White. "You're sick, twisted." White, he just smirks. "You should be thanking me. I'm clearing the competition for you." And then he says something that changes everything. "I know what the question is." Everyone freezes, but he won't say more. Black loses it. One punch, straight to the jaw, White drops. They tie him up, tape his mouth shut with a tie. and wait. Time ticks by. Then, White wakes up. Barely. Dark removes the gag, and White whispers, trembling, "I need my meds. I'm infected. I have to take my pill or I'll die." Black searches his pockets. Nothing. The group doesn't buy it. They think it's a trap, a lie, just to get free. But White swears, "One of you took it. Give it back and I'll give you the answer." Shaking violently. Is he faking? Black looks closer. No, this is a seizure. They search the room, every desk, every corner. Nothing. With 15 minutes left on the clock, desperation rises. They check each other. Dark eyes brown, and when she looks under his table, there it is. A pill. Stuck to chewing gum beneath the desk. She grabs it, tries to give it to White, but Brown snatches it and throws it into a vent. The group scrambles, trying to fish it out. Dark, panicking, steps in front of the camera. Please help him. But that's the one thing they were told not to do. Instant disqualification. She's gone. Blonde, calm and focused, uses a bobby pin, and after a tense moment, she retrieves the pill. She saves White and even unties him. He coughs, breathes, then slowly rises. Everyone stares. "Oh, now tell us, what's the question?" White smiles. "You're the answer, all of you. There never was a question on the paper. The company isn't looking for a right answer. They're looking for the right person." Silence. But just as the others start to process it, White runs, straight toward the guard. He reaches for the gun, but Black gets there first. He raises the weapon, aims it right at White's chest, but White just laughs. "You won't shoot." Then suddenly, he lunges, grabs the weapon back. White points it at the group and pulls the trigger. Nothing. The gun won't fire. Fingerprint locked. So White drags the guard, uses his hand, and now the gun is active. He aims it at everyone. "Get out, one by one. I win, you lose." Brown walks out, hands up. She's scared, but silent. Blonde follows slowly, but just before leaving, she turns, lights out. The room goes black. Gunfire explodes. White fires blindly in the dark. The lights flicker back on. Black lies motionless, a bullet hole in his chest. White gasps, looking around, but then he sees it. Blonde's foot, still inside the room. He raises the gun, but stops. The timer is gone. White turns to the camera. The guard walks over, shows him the time. White's smile fades, 20 seconds left. He's disqualified. He talked to the invigilator before time ran out. And here comes the twist. The clock was tampered with. Def had changed the time earlier while no one was watching. Now, only Blonde remains. She walks back into the room and picks up Def's fallen glasses. She looks at the paper again. This time, something's there. Question 1. Her eyes widen, and then Def walks back in. He's the CEO. The others never realized. He was there the whole time. Watching, listening, testing. Blonde walks up to him. "No." The CEO smiles, so does the invigilator. She's the only one who figured it out. The real question was asked right at the start. Any questions? That was it. That was the only question. The exam wasn't about solving a mystery. It was about listening, thinking, staying human. The CEO offers her the job, secretary to the most powerful man in the company. She pauses, then says, "I don't want to work for a company that kills people." But here's the final twist. Black isn't dead. The bullet, it wasn't real. It was a capsule, a miracle drug they've developed, a bullet that heals after impact. The company had been testing it all along. Blonde thinks it over and accepts the job. She shakes hands with the CEO, now as his right hand. Open quote, a fake test, a real cure, and a game where only the smartest soul wins. Close quote. This was exam 2009, and if you made it this far, you passed. Subscribe to DeepdiveX, turn on those notifications, and leave a like to support the journey. Until next time, stay sharp.